Hello, YouTube. I'm doing a review right now on the movie The Host, and this was based off the what's it, an adaptation off of Stephanie Meyer's book The Host. Not to be confused with the Japanese film The Host. This is different. Stephanie Meyer's, of course, most people know her. She was the writer of the major book series Twilight, but she happens to be the writer of the series The Host. Now, I went and saw this 2 days ago, and I'll just kind of delve down. But first, I want to give you a synopsis about what the movie is actually really about. And this is a synopsis. When an uncanny enemy threatens mankind by taking over their bodies and erasing their memories, Melanie will risk everything to protect the people that she cares about, proving that love can conquer all and in dangerous new world. Um, that really, to me, sums up the theme and the presence behind the movie. Now, when I looked at the movie trailers, I mean, first I actually really liked the song by oh my goodness, can't remember, but I love it song. Anyway, I'll go back to it and I'll remember it later. But that intrigued me because I was like, man, this is really hype. This is really cool. They got cars, they got chase scenes. Whereas Twilight, the first movie, based on how it started off, you got kind of a love thing with a vampire, and most likely he should kill you, but he's not. He's glowing versus different. It really wasn't all that intriguing when the first Twilight movie came out. Now, after that, it progressed with like New Moon, which I've seen in all the movies. Um, those had a progressive good state where it was like, okay, this is really cool. Now the way this one shows up, it kind of like puts you in like this mode, like okay, a lot of things are gonna happen. It's gonna be really intense, and actually, to the degree, it was. With the start of the whole movie, like how the synopsis said that Melanie and like with her family, um, they were overtaken, which actually the whole earth was overtaken by what's called seekers, or what they call themselves, the souls, where they actually, well, I'm not gonna spoil anything because most of what I'm gonna talk about is all can be seen right in the trailer, but I cannot spoil anything because there's actually some pretty good things that happens towards the end. But if you have any personal questions, ask me after this. But what happens is when an actual soul is implanted into an actual human body, the memories of that person overtaking that person, and then the soul and the person's memories are one, but what's left of that person is gone. Like there's no more of that whatsoever. And like now, most of the population, I think maybe 85% of its population are all like seekers now. And what happens is once the soul is implanted in, the eyes illuminate that shows that they are totally different. Now, the way these seekers react and act is unlike what I thought it was going to be. I thought they were going to be like all on the attack mode. Like actually, the way that they portray the seekers, they're actually a really peaceful race. But what happens is with mankind, when we're pushed, we're forced out of what we know, we push back. And with what the seekers are trying to do, they're trying to control. And that's not something that we as humans can tolerate. Which, in point in turn, Melanie's family, which I'm not going to go into what happens with her family, but the way that she's raised to not give up. She's raised not to quit, no matter what happens. Sacrifice what you can, what you have to protect those that you love, that you care about. So early on, we know that she actually has a little brother. His name is Jamie. Her name is, of course, Melanie, but this is played by, I want to say it right, Shashra. I don't think I said it right. I keep on messing up names. Saoirse. I know Ronan is her last name, but this girl, she can really act. If any of y'all seen the movie Hannah, she was actually nominated for an Oscar. She did a really good job delving into that character. And this one, it was the same, but she actually had to do a lot more as far as the acting level because she was not just playing herself, but she's playing another character. The other character's name is Wanda. What happens is, based off what you can see in the trailers, she resists. She's attacked. They try to overtake her, and from that point, she wants to lead them away from someone, and to protect them, she jumps off. but she doesn't die. And they realize off the gate that this girl is different. Like, she has a will to survive and it has a will to protect. And so they implant the soul in her, but her soul that's in her now, which is named Wanda, starts to realize that all these memories are coming forth, but she hears voices still implanted in her mind. And what's happening is that Melanie is fighting back, and she has usability of telling Wanda things, trying to share with her that this is not right, this is something that needs to change. And you, from when you're actually looking at it as a viewer, you're seeing Wanda and her personality, but you can hear in the background Melanie trying to fight. And there's times where Melanie can actually interface with her own body again, but it's just a back and forth battle. I thought this was really cool. I really liked that as far as with the acting level it showed. Like, she has some really good like range as far as that. Now, this isn't really one of those kind of movies where it just starts off and it kind of goes slow. This actually progresses pretty well. Things happen on top of things happening. So as far as the scenery and the set play, they have a lot of different locations, from the desert to the city life to how modern day secret life is, which is postmodern, but at the same time, it's totally different as far as the technology. They have technology that if you really want to get healed by something, they spray a can, heals the entire flesh, bone, and everything. So it's just really detailed as far as how they thought about actually creating these intergalactic creatures. And even when you actually see what a soul or secret looks like when it's outside of a body, it's just really cool. Um, so as far as the scenery and the set piece, I think they did a really good job with that. But I mean, they did the same thing with the Twilight series. Like, as far as how many places they went, like, it was really cool. So I mean, definitely for scenery, I'd give that definitely a 7 out of 10 for effort as far as that, and especially being this the first movie. As far as the action, as far as like just the storyline is concerned, I thought that the storyline, it has some pacing problems to me, based on them trying to mold all the different characters together, and but they kept to the central theme. That's why I really liked it. It showed the directing was really good, because they actually leveled it out with William Hurt's character. His name is Jeb. I can't say how he interacts, but he is actually Melanie's uncle. And I don't want to spoil anything, but he is a person of authority, as far as with the group that he's in, that they are the rebels. And what's happening is that Melanie slash Wanda at some point interact with him, and the way that he handles the issues that's going on with his niece, the fact that this soul, this secret is inside of her body, the way he interacts with her, it to me it brings soul to life to the movie, because up until that point, everybody that really interacted with Wanda, that was now overtaking Melanie's body, it was out of like really harsh like terms. Like, all humans and seekers, even though the seekers are not our peaceful race, like, if a human saw a secret, they're gonna most likely try to kill them or take them out. Like, that's just natural, because somebody's taking your lives, taking your family. Um, that's what you're gonna do. And the way that Mel is brought up, she's even willing to kill herself or sacrifice her body herself, instead of getting taken. Because if any of them take your body, then they have control over your mind. And if you know where any of your family members are, any of the other rebels are, you leave them in jeopardy. That's why I really like the way the pacing with the storyline, because they kept it central, but then they added characters in that actually fit the molds. Now, there are other characters in it. One is by Jared Howe. He plays Max, who's the love interest of Melanie before she was actually turned into a secret, and his interaction with Wanda slash Melanie, it's really intense. I mean, it goes back and forth, but I think it's kind of underused, because they try to divide Melanie and Wanda into two different personalities, which they are, but they give them different things that they like as far as like personal interests, as far as guys, and it's kind of weird to have a love triangle with two different people in your mind. I thought that was kind of unneeded, but I can't say anything because that's based off the book series, or as far as what I understand of the book series. So I mean, I think they played on that a little bit too much. That kind of made it a little wishy-washy to me and kind of camperish. That's why I'd have to give the way that the storyline with the characters interface, I guess I'd have to give the story because of that like a 6 out of 10. Um, but as far as the acting level, I would say I'd give that an 8 out of 10, just because the way that Saoirse actually did her acting towards the end, like when you see actually everything unravel, and which Diane Kroger, yeah, she's played in movies like Troy, different movies, but with her, she brought it to the table a villain that you can't peg them. Like, you don't understand why they're interacting the way they are. You don't understand why they're so adamant about trying to find Melanie's character and try to fix her. But by the end of it, like, she does a really good job. But I still don't think that she tapped into as deep her character could be, like as far as her acting level. And I'm not sure if that's just because of the way that she acts, like naturally as an actor. Um, but I mean, I understood the gist of what she was trying to do, as way she portrayed her acting. But I think that, I mean, I would like to have seen somebody maybe like go a little bit further level as far as the emotion of the character. But as far as on the secret side, I mean, she definitely kept it a straight face, and you can tell the complexions based on her eyes. Um, but like I said, based on the acting, I thought the acting was pretty good. I give the acting an 8 out of 10. So I guess generally for the host, I would give it I guess average, and that's was a 6.5 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10. Probably a 6.5 out of 10. Like I said, I think that probably by the time, just like with the Twilight movies, by the time the second movie comes out, um, it's gonna add a lot more things to it. By the end of this movie, like you're actually pulling for the characters, like the character of Wanda and Melanie. Like everything's left open there. Like you think that they are the main hosts, but they really aren't. Not necessarily anyway. And anything can go. By the end of it, you really feel for the character, and you really don't want to see them leave or anything happen to them. So to a degree, I actually get invested into the character, which is really good. So I guess I just give credit that to the directing and then to the acting pacing for the actors, but definitely it's worth checking out. I mean, if you're a fan of the Twilight series, this isn't necessarily like that. But if you're a fan of sci-fi, if you're a fan of, I guess, melodrama, but at the same time you want to just see like a new movie, then this is something that I would definitely check out. But I guess I'm more excited to see what progresses from this point based off the way the movie ended, because that actually ended on a pretty cool note. So yeah, like I said, 6.5 out of 10 for the host. Hope you all enjoyed this review. I think by Saturday, I probably will do a review for G.I. Joe as well. And then I think 42 is maybe coming out next 2 weeks, or is it this week? But I'm looking forward for that. Jackie Robinson, I think that's going to be a really good one. Um, but yeah, well, everybody, have a good night. Hope you all enjoyed the review. Give me your feedback. Let me know what you thought about it. Or if you've already seen the movie, let me know your perspective on what you thought about how the acting was, how the storyline was, how the set piece was, and we can go from there. Later.